Hello, and welcome to Community Talk. My name is Louis Eggleston, and I'm the marketing coordinator over at Leonardo's. And today I'm here with Tracy Biddle, who is Associate Director at Leonardo's. And today we're here to talk about our grand reopening. So Tracy, what new things can we expect at Leonardo's?
It's going to be amazing. Lots of new things should be expected. First off, when you come to our building, you used to have to enter from the west side, and now you will enter from the south side of the building. It's a brand new building face, and it faces the parking lot for Leonardo's now. That's the parking lot that has Adventure Quest adjacent to it. So you'll notice that Adventure Quest and Leonardo's are tied together. They have some similar architectural features and artwork, and then you'll park right there in that lot and enter into the building from the south, which feels very different. But it's beautiful entryway where our gift shop is located, and a new front desk has been built. As you proceed into the museum, it will blow your mind in the fact that there's only one exhibit there that was previously there. So it looks very different. The lighting's very different. The featured exhibit that is still there is the Tinkering exhibit. That's an exhibit that is funded by the Donald W. Reynolds Foundation, and that's always a favorite. We couldn't do anything with tinkering because everybody loves to go in and build things. We love it when we have families come in and build birdhouses together and play with the ball walls. So tinkering is still there, and our brand new restrooms that we had previously built are still there. Then the rest are new exhibits.
Okay.
So new exhibit number one is right in the middle of the museum, and it felt really crazy installing it. We cut a hole in the middle of the second floor so that this power tower could go up through the ceiling of into the second level. So it really catches your attention when you go in.
And what's special about Power Tower?
Power Tower basically highlights the energy industry in Oklahoma. We wanted our children's museum to reflect our community of Enid and Northwest Oklahoma and the surrounding areas, and of course, a huge thing in our economy is our industry of energy. What I like about it, though, is it's all aspects of the energy industry. It tries to teach the children that, we start deep underground, and you can tell that there's underground research. It has a derrick and a pump jack and everything, and then it goes way up into the ceiling, and then the top of the exhibit is featured up into the clouds, featuring the environment and focused on things of how we try to take care of the environment but still have this tremendous industry in our state. And I really think that the companies are going to be very proud of it.
Cool. So what can the kids do with the oil derricks and pump jacks and...
Oh my goodness, there's balls everywhere. So there's different colored balls that represent the different materials that are coming in and out of the earth and going through the different processes. The children will be able to play with those. They can put them in different parts of the exhibit, and then it shows the flow. The ball will go into another part of the exhibit, which represents a different portion of the industry. They can crawl up into the contraptions through a slide, crawl across the top, and go back down the slide. There is, you can do puzzles within the exhibit. You can stop and build your own derrick. It comes completely down and then can be completely built back up. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. That the parents can do as well.
Okay. So what else is new on the first floor?
Okay, first floor, I think Critter Clubhouse is just amazing. We have always had our animal friends at Leonardo's, but we have taken that exhibit and made it even better. On the west side, where you used to enter into the museum, is now called the Critter Clubhouse, and the Critter Clubhouse has grown quite a bit. So it's brand new, environmental controlled. The end of it features a huge chinchilla cage, a chinchilla environment. A mountain has been built for them to play in, just like they would have in the natural habitats. There's a huge aquarium. And we're adding a few neat little critters for people to study and learn about, but I don't want to let any big secrets out. You'll have to come and see.
Okay. And so what else is new on the first
Tot
floor?
Lot is amazing. Families with young children are just going to love it. That whole area has been lit up, has an amazing mural that was created by Cheryl Swanson, our original founding director at Leonardo's. And Mike Clemmy was generous enough to work with us on that. And there's an incredible mural that reflects our community. And then Tot Lot is fully enclosed, designed for safety and the exploration of very young children. There's a family restroom right off the Tot Lot now. The toys in the area are really fun because the children can learn about the different feels of things, tactile things that they can explore in the community. They can touch the grass or touch the cool marble and the metal, and it goes all around the wall. And then in the rest of the wall is all seating for the parents to be able to sit down and enjoy and watch their children play. I don't want to, there's just so much for them to do in that area. I think it's going to be great.
Cool. Should we move to our network exhibit?
I think so, because I really like it. The Oklahoma Museum Network has made it possible for us to get grossology. People don't know what grossology is unless they've probably been to another museum and seen it. But it's the not so, how did we put it, not so polite?
The impolite science of the human body.
Impolite science of the human body. I love it.
Yeah, and they use many adjectives in their descriptions. It's the slimy and oozy. And
yes, and basically it's all those things that our school-age children and adults, sometimes we giggle and laugh, and you know, we all experience indigestion, belching, things like that. Well, this is a way to look at it in kind of a fun way and then discover the science of why that really happens. Why do we have to burp, Mom? That will be answered with this exhibit. So it's a lot of fun. It has a huge operation game. It has a wall that you can climb on that represents part of the body. It has a huge, neat character that talks
Nigel.
about...
Yeah.
His nose is running. We'll probably all really identify with that in Oklahoma with the allergies right now.
Yep, for sure.
What's the name of the game that's over on the wall?
Urine, the game.
Yes, URIN.
URIN.
The game. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that game in particular teaches you what our body, what our kidneys flushes out of our body to stay healthy.
The amazing way that our body works to keep us healthy and functioning. So it's a way to take kind of a fun look at science. We're all going to giggle, but we're all going to learn something too.
For sure, for sure. And what's new on our second floor?
Second floor has the top of the power tower. So the children are going to be able to look out at all the other exhibits. We're going to have the bed and nails exhibit. We're going to have some musical exhibits, the nano exhibit. It's going to be some of the older exhibits, but really refurbed. But then on the east wall, we're going to have the healthcare exhibit.
Where this guy lives. Right?
Yes, this is where our friend is here. And he is a puzzle. And he just is a good example of the incredible type of learning activities that are in this healthcare center. It's sponsored by Integris. Integris Health has joined with Integris Baptist to bring this, it's kind of a mini hospital, mini healthcare environment. Children are able to take their heart rate. They're able to learn about the different parts of the body, the names of the body, the study of the eye, just all kinds of things for them to do. And this little guy is one of our 3D puzzles that is featured in that area. We can look at x-rays in that area. We can dress up as doctors and nurses and all the other things and perform surgery on an operation, on a life-size operation game. So.
That sounds great. And so what what is coming next for the second floor? So we have the community hospital. What comes next for that area?
The north end, people will recognize some of the exhibits because that is attached to the second phase of building. Believe it or not, we are opening our doors, doing a grand reopening, but we're not finished yet. The rest of the second floor will be completed, and the third floor, which will be an education center. One end will feature arts, the other end will feature sciences. The middle will be common learning area and conference area, and we're going to utilize all the space that we have to make a really premier learning venue for children and families.
Sounds good. And what else is left? You mentioned Tinkering is staying.
Tinker's there. Oh, and Adventure Quest is there.
Okay.
Adventure Quest, we've been, bless the park's heart, it was very lonely for a while because we were not able to have it open. But we've gone in and Mother Nature's been all trimmed up. And we've gotten it ready for play. That's our 3-story castle. And like I say, our front door, you just go straight out to the outdoor play area. The admission to AQ is always included in your admission to the museum. So.
Sounds good. So I think some folks might want to hear some of the logistics for grand reopening day. What is special?
It's going to be pretty busy. We're going to have this is grand reopening. It's a huge, tremendous 5 years of fundraising, brand new exhibits. So there will be a ribbon cutting right at 10 a.m. sharp. So out in front of the museum, if you want to be there and see local dignitaries as well as some of our state dignitaries, I know the Lieutenant Governor is going to be there, and we'll do a ribbon cutting, and then everyone's going to be allowed to come into the museum and experience it for the first time. We are going to really attempt to deal with the crowd and the lines by having different check-in areas. If you're a member, there'll be a line special for you. Which reminds me, if you need to renew your membership, and be sure that you're on that list so that you can just go through and be checked off and say, oh, I'm a member, I don't need to pay cash or credit card or any of that. You will want to do that, and then we'll have a line for cash, a line for credit card, and do some things to try to help you get into the museum as quickly as possible. If you do come and you're not a museum and you need to pay cash, it's only $6. So normally it's an $8 admission fee for anybody 2 years of age and up, but now special for the grand reopening, it's going to be $6.
Okay, and this is all April 30th?
All on Saturday, April 30th is when the grand reopening celebration is. Yes.
Okay, because I bet some parents are already thinking about summer plans.
Yes.
What does Leonardo's have planned for summer?
Well, as you know, our program was originally created by the Garriotts and by the Enid's Arts and Sciences Foundation, and we began as a summer camp. We have an arts and science camp that we have done every year, and that is being worked on right now, being put together, and it's really going to be fun. I think it's going to be great. We have all Oklahoma State certified teachers. We have 3 weeks of art, then we do a science week. Then we're going to have a toddler camp, which you might want to call. That is a brand new thing that we're trying at Leonardo's. Then we'll start back and do 3 more weeks of art camp and then a science camp.
Okay, are there discounts?
Yes, just like we have in previous years, you need to call in, go to the website, leonardos.org, get that enrollment form because the discounts are listed on the side. If you know that that's going to be your option for your children this summer, pay for the whole summer at one time, you get a 25% discount. If you enroll early, you also get a discount. If you enroll more than one child, you can have also an additional discount. So there's lots of ways to make it affordable. And this year, our prices did stay the same, and they're the same as last year. So if your children have been there before, you'll be familiar with the process and the prices.
Great. Well, that was a lot of information, but we hope we see you on April 30th and that you'll come out and see us and check out the brand new $6 million renovation, or we see your kids during summer camp or just any other day.
Yeah, we're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5, Sunday 1 to 5. Monday, April 25th is the only day we have left this spring that we're not going to be open on Monday. So we're pretty much open 7 days a week, starting April 26th.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you at Leonardo's.
Hello, and welcome to another segment of Community Talk. Most of you know me, I'm Janet Cordell, and we're here to talk about a couple of different things today, but I would like to introduce you to a good friend of mine. This is Terry Mote, and Terry is from Micronesia, most especially the Marshall Islands, right?
Yes, correct.
And many of you know that I have worked with people from Micronesia, again, mostly the Marshall Island, for many years. But it's only in the past couple of years that I've come to know Terry, and we've gotten to be good friends and got a couple of projects going on. So we're going to talk about that today. But first, I want to talk just a little bit about, first of all, you, Terry. How long have you been in the United States?
Well, thank you, Janet. I moved to the United States in 2007.
Okay.
And ever since, I haven't been to any other states besides
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
Oh, well, maybe you'll get to travel some more, but we want to keep you in Enid.
Well, I feel like
you like Enid?
Enid is like my second home.
Well, tell me, let's talk a little bit about the history of, not necessarily the whole history of the Marshall Islands, but the history of the involvement between the Marshall Islands and the United States, and kind of what brought you all here.
Sure. First, you have to understand also that in the Marshall Islands there was like the World War II took place.
Right.
It took place for almost 5 years, and after World War II, like from 1940 to 1945. That's when the United States start to do some bomb testing.
Yes, because didn't we have some major bases there?
Oh, yeah.
Near there? Yeah, it was a key point.
Right.
In the war.
Right.
Because of the proximity to China, Japan,
Well,
or
to Japan. Japan, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then 67 bombs were tested in our island. From 1947 to 1958.
Okay.
And the biggest one was on March 1st.
Okay.
And it called a Bravo shot.
Right. And it was a nuclear bomb, right?
It was a nuclear atomic bomb.
And so there were, whereas some of the other bombs may not have had as much impact, when they started doing the nuclear testing, that was kind of a whole different ball game. That was a different story. Yeah.
So after the bomb testing and all those kind, then our government with the U.S. came along with the other Micronesian countries under the treaties called the TTPI, Treaty Territory of the Pacific Island.
Okay.
It took for several years, and then Marshall Island country thought of trying to be an independent.
Okay.
So on May 1st, I could say 1984, that's when we started to have our own government.
And that's a major holiday for you all.
Yes, it is.
Yes, Constitution Day.
Constitution Day.
And we'll talk maybe a little bit more about that later.
Sure.
But okay.
And then after we self-govern ourselves, then we enter with the United States a treaty called the Compact of Free Association.
Right.
And this compact was in place since 1986 up till today, and it is no expiration date on it.
Right. And those of you who are familiar at all, you'll hear us talk a lot about the COFA.
Right.
COFA, and that's the Compact of Free Association.
Compact of Free Association.
But we talk about COFA a lot.
Right.
But it's still in place, but it's been renegotiated.
Well, the only thing that they are doing renegotiation on is those provision under the grant assistance, the financial assistance. And in 2023, that's when
it will be
yeah.
Okay. Well, and then back to part of the reason the Marshallese and the Micronesians come to the United States is because when we did nuclear testing in the islands, what happened to the islands?
Well, right now the islands are still contaminated.
Right. I mean, nuclear waste doesn't go away overnight.
No.
It doesn't go away even after years.
After many years.
Right.
People are still, those that left their island, they're not yet allowed to go back to their island.
Right.
So they're still, our government back home, they gave them small island, like close to where
They
I'm from.
relocated them,
They
yeah,
relocated
yeah.
them. But
Now, what
they
island
cannot.
were you from?
I'm from Majuro Atoll.
Majuro. I think you
Yes.
told me that before. and basically, so we nuked your islands, we moved you off, we contaminated it, and then, you know, and then I understand now with global warming, the islands are sinking.
Oh, yeah.
So the plushness of the islands, you're not able to really, on some of those islands,
Yeah.
do much of anything.
Although we have 29 atolls and
Okay.
5 small islands.
Okay.
And none of these atolls and highlands are above or bigger than 6 meters above
Gosh.
sea level. And
Gosh.
we all knew the global warming is the universal concern for all of us.
Yeah.
And that's really affect our countries
Sure.
because now we're still fighting to go back to some of the highlands that
Sure.
were pumped to the, did some pump testing.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, people are worrying about the sea level rising.
Sure. So we've got several different issues going on.
Right, yes.
And so, my understanding, if I remember correctly, because I actually was around then, was that some of the first people from the Marshall Islands came to Enid to attend Phillips University.
Some of them, yeah.
The very first ones, yeah.
For Oklahoma, yes, I could
Right,
say that.
right.
Enid was one of the
There was a
places.
missionary presence in the
Yes.
islands, and they came there. Yeah.
Yeah, when I did my research, it says that in 1978, but there was also a few more Marshallese that came in 1977. But for the missionary purposes, program to attend the Phillips University took place in 1978.
78,
And
okay.
around 1980s to 1983, that's when many of the
Many more.
Marshallese
And that's when I
came.
first became acquainted with some of the Marshallese and started working more and more with the
Okay.
Marshallese. So I've been doing it a few years.
Oh, wow.
But so what we want everybody to understand is that the Marshallese are not immigrants.
Well, yeah.
In the strictest sense of the word. A lot of people tend to get, with all the issues about immigration, tend to get that mixed up.
Right.
Marshallese and Micronesians are not immigrants. You are here legally. You don't have to have a green card. You don't, this is a part of our agreement and a part of what happens.
Yeah, we are legally
You're
able to
legal
find-
non-aliens
Yeah,
is the legal term I've seen. Yeah.
and we under the compact or COFA, we have no like I say, we have no expiration date
Right,
of
right.
when do stay in the U.S.
Right.
We can come at any
Come
time.
and go
come
freely
and go,
anytime.
yeah, by using
So
our passport.
The point is that the Micronesian people are in kind of a class all by themselves.
Right.
So when we do things, we're not setting precedents because they're the only people it impacts. I mean, they're the
Right.
only people that fits in this. Unfortunately, sometimes when you try to get services, people tend to group you in with the immigrants.
Yeah, it's so hard for
It's
us.
very- yes.
I mean, it happened after they changed the laws in 2000. 2003, 2004.
Yeah, I was involved in when they changed the COFAs and stuff in the early 2000s. So, and so what's happened over the years is we've had more and more Marshallese come,
Yes.
and we will have more come.
We are
I
predicting
mean, we
that
need to understand that.
Right.
How many would you say we have around Enid now?
right now we have 9 Marshallese local churches.
Churches, right?
And each denomination has more than 200 plus
Okay,
membership.
that's-
So when you
yeah.
do the math, we're looking at about more than 3,000 Marshallese just here in this Garfield County.
And we've done some surveys of like the school systems throughout
Right.
the state, and I think the figure I heard about Enid was over 700.
It's over 770.
Something like that. So, and there'll be more coming. So, what we've decided to do is with the help of Senator Patrick Anderson,
Right, yeah.
who's been a great help to us, and Mona Lowen, for those of you who may not know her, she teaches the citizenship classes.
And English
And she teaches English as a second language.
Right.
And so they've been very, very instrumental. And with Senator Anderson's help, we are now planning a Micronesian Day at the Capitol. Now, we originally started out calling it the Marshall, but we have to understand that there are different areas. There's the Federated States of Micronesia, the Republic of Palau, and then the Republic of the Marshall Islands.
Right.
And they're all kind of together. Unfortunately, some of them speak different languages, right?
we do speak
and so you
different languages.
can't communicate necessarily.
And also different culture.
Totally different cultures.
Yes.
So what we're doing is, on Monday, May the 2nd. Now, you remember a minute ago we talked about May the 1st and the cultural significance for you all. But as it so happens, that happens on a Sunday. So on Monday, May the 1st, we're going to have a Micronesian Day at the Capitol.
Yes.
And basically, it's an awareness day to learn about, you know, some of the things we've already talked about today, but even more about cultural issues.
Right.
We're planning to have what are some of the things we're going to do that day?
Yeah, we are.
I know we've got the Enid High Choir coming, and we've got several flag dance groups.
Yeah, we are looking at more than 7 displays.
Okay. Yes, we have
Or
7 or 8
exhibit.
displays
Yeah, that
about
will-
different groups. Like there's education,
There's healthcare,
healthcare, yeah.
employment, culture and religion, militaries and citizenship,
Yes.
and then education, communities in
Yes.
Oklahoma.
Right.
And a little brief history of the.
Yeah. And we've got some really wonderful displays.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's been some recent legislation in Oregon, and I think we may have some people from Oregon there, maybe some people from
Oh, yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
So it's really going to be a celebration day.
It is.
There's going to be music and dancing, but there's also going to be a lot of cultural stuff. And really, you mentioned the military display.
Yes.
To me, I come out of, my parents were both World War II veterans, and my dad was in the Bataan Death March in the Philippines. So I have a, real strong sense of community as far as the military goes. We have any number of, and they're going to have a huge military display because the Marshall Island people are in our military.
Yes.
And so they're willing to die for us.
Oh, yeah.
But yet it's very difficult for them to get citizenship.
It is. Well,
And that's kind of another, we really don't have time to talk about that today. I would like to see us have a talk about
Oh,
that
sure.
maybe at some point in
Right.
time. One of the things I do want to show you is we have made up, and Mona did most of this, a beautiful flyer
Right.
that we do intend to take to all of our legislators when we're down at the Capitol. Advanced Food is going to feed us that day. That's wonderful.
thanks to Advanced
Yes,
Food
thanks
for
to
that
Advanced Food.
contribution.
If you want more information about this, we were trying to decide what phone number to give you. And so I'm thinking, I work at Enid Community Clinic, and that probably would be the easiest thing, to call 580-233-5300. And we're not there all the time, but if you have questions or comments, you could leave a message, and we'd be glad to call you back, and I could get you in touch with Terry if we need to. What else do you want to say about, in general, or about the day at the Capitol, Terry?
Well, you mentioned it's called a CAN. Those organizers in Oregon that are coming to visit us. Also, we have ACOM from Arkansas.
Okay, great.
It's going to be a big event.
Big event.
for all
It
of us.
really
And
is.
we are starting from 10 till 3 p.m.
Yes, yes. So, feel free to come. If you want Terry to do presentations, he would be glad to go do for your clubs or your churches or whatever. Well, it's actually getting time for us to close. Now, see, I told you, time flies when you're having fun. So we just want to remind everybody again, give us a call if you're interested, but we are having the Micronesian Day at the Capitol Monday, May the 2nd, from 10 until 3.
3, yes.
And we'll have entertainment. They're going to do a lot of cultural stuff, have some of the things from the islands. It's going to be a fun time. We're all really, really geared up for this. So come and see us or give us a call. And thank you, Terry, for being
thank
here
you,
today.
Jeanette, for this time.
You bet.
Hello again. My name is Don Eck. I'm the commander here at the DAV in Enid, Oklahoma, in the Northwest Chapter 66. I come to you on a monthly basis, trying to explain the process of the DAV does for local veterans and surrounding area veterans. Today, we'd like to talk about some issues that we've been trying to deal with the veterans lately. Most of them, when they're trying to file the claims, they really don't understand exactly what's the process or what they need. Just for us to get started, all we need is a copy of a DD-214, which is discharge papers. When you bring that in, we'll sit down with you. We'll talk to you about any issues that you may have had when you were in the service. Now, just because you may have not got sick in the service and you got sick later, there are options there where you can connect that to your service connection. So all we're looking for is DD-214. Come on in and we'll talk to you. It takes probably about 10 minutes to figure out exactly how we can help you. And then we'll start the process. One thing I do encourage all veterans to do when they're filing with the VA is a personal statement. Not many veterans know that you can have personal statements put into evidence for you in reference to your claim. What I mean by that is, if you were, let's say you have a disability that affects you at home, at work, difficulty getting around, well, explain that to them in your own terms. Write that down on a piece of paper, bring it in. If you want us to retype it, or if you want to type it, we can do that for you. But we'll have you sign it, and we'll send that in as support of your claim. I also encourage the veterans that with problems with sleep problems or issues at home, to have their wives, their ex-wives, their friends, their family, their children. Not all the disabilities out there that these veterans are facing, they don't only affect them, they affect the family. And we're finding that out more and more. Too many veterans are getting divorced. They're having issues when they come home. The family is torn apart because they don't understand how they can help the veteran, and the veteran doesn't understand what is the problem. So we recently have started at the chapter a little program where we like bringing the family in and talking with them. There's options where we can get you some counseling if that's the way you want to go, or just meet some of the other families that are in the process of getting claims done. Sometimes just talking with other people is better, especially when they understand the problems you go through. I know a lot of times the veterans come in and you hear it all the time, well, I don't really deserve this because, I got my arms, I got my legs, I got all that, but, but I do have some hearing problems. I can't hear, and I have this ringing all the time. Well, that's part of your service. That's tinnitus, the ringing of the ears. You can place that as a claim. Hard of hearing, you can come in, we can file a claim for that. Those things just don't bother you. Think about it. You're hard of hearing. You don't hear all the conversations that your family has. How many times you've been told, hey, I'm talking to you, or you're not listening to me? Sometimes we consider it selective hearing, but other times it's just the veteran doesn't hear. The veterans are exposed to loud noises, extremely loud noises, especially in the wartime, where you have explosions, you have all kinds. You don't have time to put your earplugs in, and be honest with you, most of the time we can't wear them because you can't hear what's going on. People shouting. We have mechanics that are around loud noises in the airplanes. We've had truck drivers that are loud, deuce and a half. When we used to drive those, loud noises in there. Artillery. That's probably the funniest one, because we're always, when you get an artillery guy in, he said, well, I have a problem hearing. And I said, well, what's your MOS or your job? And he'll say, well, it's artillery. And I said, huh? He'll say, it's artillery. And I said, huh? He'll finally catch on that I'm giving him heck, because he probably can't hear anyway because of the artillery shells. But, that's just part of the process that at the chapter we try to make it as friendly and as painless as possible. It's a very stressful situation having to sit down with a person you just met and explain to them your deepest, darkest secrets. Hey, I remember going in there with my post-traumatic stress, and I didn't want to tell nobody. I didn't want to admit that I had a problem. And it took me a while before I would. But once I opened up, I realized I wasn't the only one having the same issues. And then I started talking to other veterans, Vietnam vets. I had some Korean vets, and World War II veterans. And come to find out, a lot of them have the same issues that I have, and vice versa. Battle is battle. It never changes over the years. The equipment, the explosives, all that, but the basic ideal of war is war. So, as I always say, you can take a World War II veteran and you can take an Afghan veteran, and within about 30 minutes of sticking them in a room, they'll be laughing and joking back and forth, talking about some of the stuff that they've gone through, because they all understand it. They'll start talking about the C rations or the MREs. That's what, all kinds of stuff. In the Gulf War, we got 5 pounds of Spam in a metal can. I never knew they had that. So there's all that kind of stuff you join together. A lot of veterans, when they come back, that's what they miss. They miss that bond they had with the other veterans. A lot get into law enforcement or other places like that because that's a bond. They miss that bond. It's hard to explain, but it's just the way it is. Because once you put your life into somebody else's hand, it's hard not to, you miss that. It's hard. I can't tell you how many veterans come in and they say it's hard. It's hard to deal with the civilians because they don't understand. But we want you to know, local veterans, surrounding veterans, that at the chapter we'd like to take the time to talk to you. We want to help you. We want to make sure you get the help. We have 22 veterans a day that commit suicide. That's unnecessary. There's too many of us out there that are veterans could take a time to call their buddy and say, hey, how you feeling today? Or how'd your day go? Sometimes that's all it takes. I've had many veterans come in there that, they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm at my last leg. I can't keep a job. I keep having problems at home. I can't sleep. I can't do anything. We sit down and we talk to them and say, hey, look, been there doing that. We understand. Let us help you. And we start talking. And, a lot of times I give out my number. I have them call me. Hey, if you're having a bad day or if you're having some issues or your wife wants to call me, have her call me. Say, hey, Joe Blow over here is having issues and I can't control him. Can you do something? And sometimes you can deal with it on the phone, and sometimes you have to go out in person. But what I'm trying to tell the veterans, the family of the veterans, and the kids of veterans, that you're not alone. You know, it affects the kids every day. We're always there for you guys. All you have to do is come by, see us. We're there Monday through Friday. I am most of the time. But we're definitely there for claim processes Tuesdays through Thursdays. And that's usually from about 9 o'clock to 1, 2 o'clock. And that's Tuesday through Thursday. But if you are working, which a lot of you guys are trying to work, and you need to file a claim, give us a call. We'll set up an appointment that's convenient for you. I'll come out, we'll do the claim for you, and we'll do that. I do it all the time for other veterans. I've done it 3 or 4 times last week for several other veterans that you know, they say, hey, I couldn't get a claim in if you guys wouldn't have made an appointment for me and let me come down and do it. And that's what we're here for. You know, some of the other things about the VA, they're having some problems. They always have some problems. They've always had some problems, but that's just the way it is. But you start talking to other veterans, and they can explain how they deal with it. You know, the long waits in the waiting rooms, or the continuous medications. You know, we've all been through it. We all know how it is, and we want to help. Now, the DAVs also does some outreach programs. Right now, I've got 3 gentlemen out there in Woodward, Guyman area. They're doing claims today and yesterday. They're also going to be in Wedford tomorrow. They're also going to be, we started in Alva. And what we're going to do is try to do this continuously 3 or 4 times next year. The problem is logistically, it's hard trying to get the finances for doing that. All this is volunteer for these guys, so we try to make it as painless as possible on them. But we are, and we haven't, forgot you out there in Woodward and Guyman and Freeman and all those other little towns and Weatherford. All you gotta do is call us, we'll figure out a way. A lot of times I'm down around Watonga. I'll bring my stuff, we'll do a claim down there, we'll meet sometime over coffee, we'll talk to you, we'll get everything taken care of that we need to do. So there's no reason why, if you need to file a claim, that you couldn't file a claim. There are also other chapters in the state that, with the DAV, that can help you out. If you don't know of one in your area, give me a call. If you're not in our area, I'll give you the commander's name of the chapter you're in. So we want to make sure that you get your help. Now, the DAV are also doing what we call new outreach at these home show this weekend. That's going to be the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. We're also going to be out there the 30th and 31st of April. We'll be located in Perry. We're going to the car show out there. That's going to be exciting. That's a very big event for Perry every year, and we're really excited. We're going to have a mobile service unit out there where we have computers and everything on site that we can do right there on site. The 25th of April, I want to make sure that you do remember this, that we have Veterans Day at the Capitol. We're excited about that. We do it every year. We'd love to see as many veterans, their family, their friends, all that come out and support the veterans of this great state. Also, on May 2nd, we're going to be back up to the Capitol, and we're going to be up there supporting the Marshallese. I've got several of my members in my chapter that are Marshallese, veterans of the United States Army, Marines. I have a couple Navy, but they did serve, and they're having difficulties. And we want to make sure that they're not left out there. So we're going to go down and show our support by setting up a military booth and explain to the veterans of Marshallese what kind of help and what we can do and what's out there for them. The DAV is also excited out on the east of Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma. We're out with the Cherokee Indians. We're now doing claims with them. We're doing all kinds of exciting things at the DAV. We'd love to have you come down. Just come, it's a one-time payment, or you can pay it off in different increments throughout the years. But come down and talk to us. Guarantee it's not painful on the first payment. And get involved in the chapter. You know, some of you guys and ladies are out there are saying, man, I don't have anything to do, you know. I remember going out with the guys and the girls after getting off in the military, you know, after final formation, and just don't know what to do. Give us a call, come down, drink some coffee, and we might even be serving breakfast that time. We have some ladies that come in on occasion and cook us breakfast, but it's an exciting thing because we get back to our togetherness, the stuff that we miss. You know, Afghanis, soldiers coming back now, there's a lot of them that need our help. You know, National Guard, a lot of those guys are really suffering, and they really need people to come up and help. Also remember that the DAV provides transportation to all VA medical appointments. That's in Oklahoma City. We also, in our chapter, has a van that also will go through Stillwater, Blackwell, and the Enid area. Give us a call. We'll try to arrange you a ride to your appointment. If you have a VA medical appointment that they set up outside the VA, give us a call, and we'll try to get you a ride down there on that also. It has no cost to you whatsoever. Just remember that. There's no cost whatsoever. And you may have to get up a little early, but other than that, our drivers will take you. We have a new 12-passenger van. It's beautiful. You can almost stand up in it. We have a brand new, or a year-old Flex, Ford Flex, that we use for in town. And come down and just join us and have a good time. If you're interested in volunteering, we're always looking for volunteers to help us out. We have opportunities where we have drivers for our vans. Right now we have 4. We have 3 part-time, 1 kind of full-time. He puts it on himself, but he wants to volunteer all the time, so we call him the full-time guy. But we're always looking for drivers to give these guys help. Keep in mind that last year, fiscal year 2014 to 2015, our chapter alone transported over 1,700 veterans to medical appointments in Oklahoma City, Enid, Stillwater, and Blackwell areas. That was almost 90,000 miles worth of traveling that these 4 people took upon themselves to volunteer their time to take the veterans. So if you're excited and you want something to do during the day, come down, help us out. We'll always find you something to do, and be glad to see you. Keep in mind that we're always there for you, veterans, and if you need something, give us a call. Our telephone number is 580-242-3808, and we're located at 202 West Walnut here in Enid, Oklahoma. It's the old Santa Fe Depot. It's the old train station, and I'm more than happy to come down there and help us out and get to know you some more. You have a good day.